I think we should talk about a little intro. Who we are, what we do, how we got started. Lead us off, Mark. How did you get started?
It's none of your business.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Next question.
Next question. My dad was a real estate developer back in the day out of Wahoo, Nebraska.
Wahoo, Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Okay.
Yeah, big.
It's
big,
bumfuck nowhere, and then drive another 20 minutes, and then you end up...
big city, but they used to have one stoplight, but they ended up taking it out a few years ago, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
Traffic circle? Did they go to the traffic circle? No.
There wasn't no traffic at all.
Didn't even go with a stop sign, huh? They just passed on by.
Dude, it was, detrimental, but... he was always into custom home building growing up. Built some townhouses, a little development of townhouses, and in high school would work with him in the summertime. And from there, just kind of learned a little bit of the ropes. He didn't teach me a ton on the investment side, but on the work side, learned quite a bit. And then from there, my grandma passed away, Grandma Matson, and we inherited a house from her, me and my brothers. I was 16 at the time, and inherited a house from her, cleaned it up a little bit, sold it, made a little bit of money, and then me and my brother, one of my older brothers in college, ended up buying a house together that we flipped up in Lincoln. I say we flipped it, we messed up on it, didn't know what we're doing. And he ended up having to buy it because we couldn't sell it on the market.
Your dad bought it?
No, my brother bought it.
Oh, your brother bought it.
Yeah,
Okay.
It ended up working out fairly okay-ish at the time, just because I think he was living in an apartment, just had a kid, or kid was on the way, and the house wasn't selling, so it was kind of a good transition for him to move into the house. But he ended up buying it. We made zero money on it. Only thing I got out of it was a bunch of really nice tools, because we spent a bunch of money on brand new tools because we did all the rehab ourselves. Or I should say I did the rehab. My brother pretended he did some, but he didn't know shit. He still doesn't. But was a really good learning lesson. Learned a lot of stuff from it, do's, don'ts, whatnot. It was a good first learning experience for sure.
And you basically redid his house for free for him, so hell yeah, man.
More or less, yeah. The quality of work.
What a good brother.
I don't think the quality of work was there.
Hey.
Cabinets after a few years fell off the wall, and it was good though. That's what he deserved. He deserved it really nice.
Hey, he had a few good years out of it.
Rolling cabinets.
Yeah.
But again, another great learning lesson from there. And then shortly after that, moved down to Arizona. That's where my dad kind of semi-retired to. The boom was going on, and he was just buying properties, not doing anything to them. Selling them 2 weeks later, making 40, 50 grand on them. And I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. So before I proceed in college more, I was in college for about a year and a half or so at that point. Before I proceeded more, I was like, hey, let me try this real estate thing more full time before I do college.
And you were going to school to be a doctor at that point, right? Yeah.
Went to school for a doctor for no reason whatsoever on what they call it in high school when you meet with your a counselor before you graduate to kind of come up with a career idea or your next path forward. Can't remember what it's called, but
Career counseling? Career counseling? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, there you go. There it is.
Here it is, but
They told you, hey, you can be a doctor.
yeah.
Yeah.
I told
You like touching people? And there you go.
that's the thing for me. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I legit Googled. This is when, I don't know if Google was a thing back then. Maybe it's like Yahoo or Lycos. Lycos, I think, was a search engine for a while.
Oh, man.
It probably dates me.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, you want to talk about that? We won't go there. All right.
Yeah. I did a quick search to find out the highest paid profession, and it was an anesthesiologist. So I was like, dude, I'm going to be an anesthesiologist.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever.
Sure.
So I went to college, took a bunch of science classes, spent a lot of time studying to get good grades, and yeah, it sucked. Didn't want to do it. Wanted out, so going down to Arizona was a good excuse. Had my girlfriend at the time, wife now, but was dating her since we were babies, more or less. Convinced her to go down to Arizona with me, and went to Arizona, got into real estate full time. got my real estate license right away, started doing mortgages. Got my real estate license right away, wasn't doing a lot of stuff with my license, but got into mortgages right away. And from there, yeah, started doing a bunch of mortgages. That was a time where you had, if you could breathe, you could get a loan for as much as you want.
Yeah.
Like no doc loans where you legit filled out an application, and with that application, they would give you a loan on a house. And I think down payment requirements were like maybe 5%. I know they had some 100% programs back then as well, but it was easy to give loans or to get loans, to get business in and do it. So got into that, but then within a few years is when it was like 2008-ish or so, when shit hit the fan and just saw the entire business collapse. And there was 3 or 4 days we were sitting in the office at the mortgage office, and we would just watch TV pretty much the entire day. We're at the office, and the TV we're watching is the news on what banks were going under, as like Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers and others.
Yeah.
And those are some of the banks that you were selling, because we were mortgage brokers.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were selling our loans to. So it's like, hey, we have 10 loans with Bear Stearns. We have 5 loans with Homecomings Financial and some others. And it's like, hey, these guys just went out of business. These guys went out of business. And it's just, you're seeing instant paychecks go away that you were kind of banking on making. So, yeah, at that time, transitioned to doing agency stuff with the license and started doing a bunch of short sales, build up a team, and crank through short sales, helping out a lot of people.
Tell us what a short sale is in case people aren't aware of it.
Good question. So it's when a homeowner owes more on their house than what it's worth, and they want to sell it. So we would go to the bank and we negotiate on their behalf, saying, hey, they owe $300,000 on a house. This house is worth $100,000. Let's allow them to sell it for $100,000. You guys will at least get some money back. You won't have to foreclose on it, and the homeowner can move on. You guys can both move on. So we would list the house for the owners. We would negotiate with the banks. That process could take anywhere from 2 to 3 months to, we've had some that took 1.5 years, 2 years to do. So start doing a pretty good volume of short sales, and through that process is when I started to acquire some investments. Through that, we would buy properties through a short sale, and I started doing fix and flips at that time with my dad's help, and then we had a money partner as well. And so I did one with my dad, and then after that, I had a buddy from Nebraska that wanted to invest some money, so we went in 50-50, where all he did was lend money, and I would find the deals, coordinate all the rehab, sell it, everything. And looking back on it, it's a shitty deal. He got 50% of the profits for not doing anything besides having money, deep pockets.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to get started. You gotta get started somehow, you know.
Sure.
So we started doing that, but then I started getting more into investments, started getting some of my own money, started buying some of my own stuff. And then that's really where I started getting deeper and deeper in investments, realizing this is what I enjoyed a lot more than being a real estate agent. And by that time, market was turning around a bit. Short sales weren't as prevalent. Things were slowing down a little bit. And the team I had built was transitioning more to traditional agency business, helping retail buyers, retail sellers sell. And do that just was not my jam whatsoever.
Yeah, makes sense.
Nothing against realtors. Realtors can be a different breed of people to deal with.
Sure.
And some of the clients and whatnot, I just enjoyed investing so much more at that point. So
Everything's in your control at that point, right? You're not subjected to somebody else finding the deal, negotiating, somebody in the middle, all of those things, right?
a lot less complicated for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so at that time, over one holiday season between like Thanksgiving and Christmas, I tried to slow down with the business, spend more time with now wife and family, and just kind of reflect on stuff, and just kind of came to a realization. It's like, dude, everything was good. Business was still good. Money was great. Like, things were good. It's like that, just not what I thought it would be at this time, you know? Like, when I got to that point, it was more ego driven. It's like, do I want to build a big team? I want to make all this money? And then stuff comes to fruition, and it's totally not like what you expect. And to me, that was a realization. It's like, wow, I thought this is exactly what I wanted, but now I'm here. It's like, it's not. So after that break, I just kind of went back and it's like, hey, this is not for me. I don't want to keep pursuing this. I'd rather get in investments full time. So, and this was all down in Arizona. So I continued to do some fix and flips, got some rentals, and then probably 4 years ago now or so, decided to cash out of Arizona and invest all back in Nebraska. And then back in Nebraska is kind of where I met you through a mutual acquaintance. Started doing turnkeys where I would find a property, fix it up, get a tenant in there, get property management in place, and sell it to a guy like you that was out of state looking for better returns than what you could get where he's at. And I started selling a lot of properties that way. And then after a while, I just realized, why am I selling all these? I'm putting all this work in these deals, getting tenants in there. These are great deals I'm selling off. Why am I selling them off?
Hey, we appreciated it. And, hey, great opportunity to pick these puppies up, man.
I sold like to you and a couple of your buddies that in your circle. It's like, dude, what am I doing right now? This is stupid.
Yeah.
But at that point, I didn't know how to.
I still have that house, by the way. Yeah. It's done well.
Yeah, it's been many years now. I didn't know how to kind of raise money. I always thought I had to do stuff all with my own money. And that's when I kind of realized, hey, if I partner up with the right people, go to the right private lenders, go to the right banks even, local banks and whatnot, things were a lot easier than what I originally thought they would be. And then, from there, that's kind of what started off, just going from the fix and flip to turnkey to now just acquiring rental properties, really.
Interesting, man.
That's my story, bud.